Don't forget to check out my Patreon where we have exclusive content such as Camp Zero Base 1, 17's Nana Tour, 17 in the Soup, Finding Stray Kids, Blackpink House, EXO's Ladder, EXO Showtime, A-Pink Showtime, and tons of other content including extra variety shows, K-dramas, animes, and movies. Hey guys, Angie here. Today we have the Sserafim's documentary, Make It Look Easy, episode 2. I was gonna do their day off, but I'm trying to kind of just do this first and then that, but then they're having a comeback, so it's gonna be very frustrating because I'm like, you know. But yeah, so this episode we're not gonna really talk too much or heavily about everything that happened with the group and blah 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 until like it comes up as it goes. Before it was kind of more like a warning of like, oh, this is my position, this is how I felt, my bias and unbiasedness about it. It's cool now. We're just chilling. We're just gonna enjoy it, and then like obviously as things happen we'll talk about it. Like I'm not just gonna like not talk about it, but it will be more chill, as chill as I can be. I'm a very passionate person, okay? But on Patreon we are checking out Produce 48. We're on episode 5 and Yunjin is like killing it for me. Like I don't know, I didn't realize how prevalent she would be in the show because I forgot she was on it, because obviously she didn't debut, so people didn't talk about her a lot when Sserafim came out. It was more like people did, so I knew she was on it, but I kind of forgot until I saw her and I was like, oh, it's Yunjin. But yeah, she's number 22. Like after the elimination, she's number 22. I am so proud of her and she killed it. Like I'm loving her on the show. Obviously Chaewon and Sakura are also on it. Sakura's number 4 and Chaewon's number 28. Chaewon killed it. I think she did twice Ua Ua. I think that was the performance she did. Sakura did no, and they did my girl so dirty. I was so pissed off. I was very mad at everything that happened before that. But if you want to check out my reactions to it, because they just did Sakura, like I was just very upset with how they treated her there. Not the girls, the teachers, but fuck the teachers. I do not like the teachers on any of the produced shows. They're very mean. And they're low-key, like, that was, like, just, there's always so much argument over, oh, tough love, blah, blah, blah. That was just evil, though. Like, that the way she spoke to her was so unnecessarily aggressive. There was no love. It was all just tough. Not a fan. But if you want to watch those, especially you can join September 1st, so that you can get the 2 new episodes that'll come out in September. So, let's hop into the video. Making easy. The comeback looks quite interesting. Did no one walk out with him? That's crazy.
드디어 비데이가 왔습니다. 어떡해.
I thought the MC shows were like really early in the morning.
아직
Oh.
이른 아침이에요.
What? What time is it?
6시 10분.
Wait, what? It's done? Oh. This is her going to. Okay. Start out at 6 a.m. It's crazy. But it's winter, right? So I guess.
모든 사람들한테
Because it's at February.
호불호 같은 거 없이 그냥 삼삼하게 잘한다.
I think a lot of Fear-Nots were very proud of her. I remember the outfit. It's crazy. I distinctly remember it. I never wear my berets like that. I feel like it would look weird on me that way. I feel like a lot of people in like day-to-day life don't wear them like that much either.
안녕하세요. MC 1일차 씩씩한 아기 은행장 은채입니다.
Looks more like a sailor hat.
네, 좋습니다. 저도 처음으로 은행장했던 날이 떠오르는데요. 은행장 확정 소식 들은 다음에 소감이 어떠셨어요, 은채 씨?
네, 저는 정말 실감이 안 났던 것 같은데요. 제가요? 이런 느낌이었습니다.
고생하셨습니다. 반응 아주 좋아.
그래요? 저 반응 보고 싶어요.
That's Twitter.
뭔가 저는 항상 이런 저에 대한 반응들을
Oof,
많이
should
보는
never do that.
편인데 나를 왜 이렇게
But, you know,
사람들이 귀여워해
usually you
주시지?
can't help
막
it.
이런
I
생각도
tend
들
to just
때가
avoid
많은데
everything.
내가 만약에 나이가
I'm like,
들어서 나도
eh.
모르게 안 귀여워지면은 어떡하지? 라는 그런 생각도 들고 은채 웃는 모습이 너무 예쁘다라고 해주시는 분들도 많은데 내가 뭐 나이가 들어서 이렇게까지 안 웃으면은 그때는 어떡하지? 라는
She's like 16
생각도
here.
들어요.
That's so sad. I feel like the one thing, your smile like never changes unless you get some type of surgery, I guess. But smiles tend to well, that's why you can usually tell someone's baby picture if they're smiling in it, like, because you're like, oh, I recognize that smile. Okay, look at Sakura.
은채가 선생님은 조금 아쉬운 게 아무래도 뭔가 이 무대 경험의 문제인 건지 모르겠지만 조금 무대에서 잘 못 노는 것 같은 느낌이었어. 계속 리허설 하는 데는 오늘뿐만이 아니라 어려워 할 때.
Probably.
어떤 게?
어색해.
어색해? 왜 어색할까? 은채는 은채답게 노는 게 제일 좋아. 너다운 게 좋아. 너다운 게 뭐야? 몰라? 너가 막 굳이 안 나오는데 할 필요는 없다? 그치만 그래도 그냥 아마 신날 거야. 그 수많은 팬들 앞에서 너가 그 무대에 서면
I like that.
분명히 엄청 신날 거야. 그 신나는 거 그냥 그대로 보여줘. 그게 너의 매력이야.
See, that's the one thing is you can, but a lot of times, I'm not a performer. I have never stepped foot on a stage. But I imagine if I was a performer, in rehearsals, you can do everything you can to replicate, and practice what you want to do on stage. But excitement is hard to fake. You know what I mean? So whenever I see, in Produce 48 or Produce X101 or Boys Planet, when they're like, you look like you're not having fun. You don't look like you're not having fun. And there's always, in the rehearsals, it's it's hard to put, it's usually, it's always genuine on the stage. You can tell, when an artist is having fun on the stage. It's hard to see, it's hard to, probably practice that off stage, because that adrenaline is what gives them that star quality on stage. You can't, the adrenaline's not going to hit until you get up there, until you're in front of the audience, until you're actually in front of the camera doing the performance. So I do at least she brought that up, because they never bring that up. It's they're gonna do everything they can here, but until you're actually on the stage, that expression you're wanting from them is not really gonna happen until it's in the moment. That, even for actors and stuff. An actor, I've seen it so many times in bloopers or behind the scenes where they're trying to cry and they'll practice and practice and practice and they don't get it, but then when they're on the camera in the moment, they do it. And it's because I feel something in your body knows when it's the moment you have to do the thing. That happens in so many instances.
요즘에 뭔가 팬분들도 훨씬 많아졌고
Plus, yeah, her even Kazuha, she's a ballerina. She has been on the stage, even if it's in a different context. And then the three other members that have been on stages, has Eunchae been on any proper stage until Sserafim? I feel that's the one thing that sucks about Sserafim that's always gonna be against them in a way, is you have someone who's a ballerina, so the etiquette is completely different. The expressions they have to relay is very different. I think for ballet, you usually don't smile a lot, but I could be wrong. That could be a stereotype. Let me know. But I've seen in movies and stuff, performances, or even just small little clips, and they're always serene. They're not, or it depends on the performance. But I don't think I've ever seen them smile. But in K-pop, it's all about the smiling and over-expressiveness. And then, is always going to be against Chaewon, Eunchae, and Chaewon, Segura, and Yoonjin when people compare them to the years they've been an idol. Or Yoonjin's been on Produce 48, so like she's had experience. So people are gonna be like, oh, you've been doing this for so many years, and yet you're not living up to what we expect, which it could be fair in some arguments. But then like Eunchae hasn't had any of that. She's very young. So she's like performing with 4 other very experienced people who are also older than her. It's like
사랑을 많이
setting her
받고
up
있다는 거를
to be compared.
느끼고 있어서 더 뭔가 감정에 솔직해지고 받아들여지는 게 많은 것 같은데
And that's why I'm very protective of Eunchae.
대중분들이 좋아하는 얼굴이 있고 행동이 있고 그런 이미지가 있다 보니까 뭔가 저도 모르게 거기에 맞추려고 하고
subconsciously,
뭔가
yes.
비교하게 되고 내 모습과
But people do that
약간 지금 내
off stage,
모습은
like
어떤지
not being
계속
idols.
뭔가 비교를 하게 되고
So I don't think that's like anything
신경을 쓰는 것 같아요.
crazy. Sadly, everyone compares themselves to everybody in any field they're in.
사실 시선이 이제 가는 건 되게 좋은데 시선을 받는 것도 좋아하고 관심도 좋은데 뭔가 지금은 좋은데 나중에 더 많은 사람들이 르세라핌이라는 팀을 알게 되면 그때는 어떨지 잘 모르겠어요. 네.
부담이 커질 수도 있고.
네, 부담이
Who's she talking to?
네, 커지면서 또 그게 비대하는.
It's like she at least knew this ahead of time. Because I do think people who get into any type of fame need to have that realisticness, even though it's not fair. Like, the Chaplin singer talked about this. Like, just because it's the expectation doesn't mean it should be. So, she at least prepared her brain for that. But it doesn't, no matter how much you try to prepare yourself, when it happens, and it's gonna always affect you. But people excuse it, like, oh, you should be used to the negativity. You should expect that with getting famous. But, like, why? Why? Just because it has happened? That's how I feel when people are like, oh, idols debuted at 13, like Taemin did. I'm like, okay, so we should keep doing it? I thought that's what being a human is. It's like growing, changing, evolving. We're not apes now, are we? Just because we were so long ago? No. We used to eat on a fire every day and like had like barely any clothing, and we would let our hair grow up everywhere. We don't anymore. Why should we stay how we were just because it once was a thing? That's why we, try to get rid of racism, try to get rid of homophobia. Maybe we should try to set boundaries and not attack people just because we can. Not stalk people just because we can. Not make people cry in their studios. And think this girl should be okay with that.
사람들이 그냥
Or me.
눈치를 항상 많이 보게 돼요.
Ugh. Sorry.
대중들의 눈치도.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared there.
이 업계
I love how it's just like, oh, just because you can be mean doesn't mean you should. But we're all hypocrites.
잘
At least I
보여야
apologized. Look at little Olaf over there.
욕부터 하면서 왜
That's why it's happening right now with their comeback photos and stuff. Like, people are hating before anything's been released. We haven't heard the songs yet. This video is kind of grainy.
뭔가 진짜 눈에 보이지
I think that was the clip
않는
people were making
그런
fun of her for. I do think it was an odd clip to put in there.
누구나 그렇겠지만
Like nothing happened there. I guess it's like us seeing her get frustrated, but it just out of context because we don't know the context of it. It just looks
사랑을
weird.
받고 싶으면 그런 좀 지켜야 되는
Like people are like, oh,
부분이
she's
있더라고요.
faking that or something.
근데 저는 그런 걸 이제 르세라핌 하면서 조금씩 깨보고 싶은데 어디서부터 시작해야 될지를 이제 고민해 봐야 되겠죠? Guess we're on the edge, trying to figure out what's really on your mind.
앞으로 어떤 얘기를 하고 싶을까 뭔가 저도 생각해보면 데뷔 티저 때
She wants to make history or whatever.
아이돌계를
Oh yeah.
바꾸고 싶다. 그런 변화를
And then people were
만들고
making fun of
싶다
her
이런
for
얘기를
it, which is
했었는데
really weird.
이제 그거 가지고
It's a dramatic saying, but okay, who
다른
cares?
사람들이 그래서 실제로 뭘 바꿨는데 어떻게 바꿀 건데 너 혼자서 이런 얘기를 하는데 처음에는 그게 별로 귀에 그냥 흘러 듣다가 시간이 지나면 지날수록 뭔가 그 말에 더 책임져서 더 뭘 해야 될 것 같고 내가 지금 충분히 하고 있나.
저는 이제 은진 씨가 지금 그런 생각이
What sucks is I'm not a hype hater, I'm a company hater, so please know this. I gag at Bong Seok, but I also gag at Lee Soo-min and YG and especially YG and JYP, like those creeps, you know? Because to me, all men in power are creeps because that's just how I feel. All men in power are creeps, especially when you're in power of children. If your job entails you being around kids a lot in this type of industry, I'm going to question you before anything. And I know that's not fair, but too much has come out in the world over the last like 20 years of people in charge of children. It's how I feel. She's in a company, like the stuff Bang Seok has said is probably ingrained in her. Like, she says so many things, like, oh, I'm gonna change K-pop, oh, I'm gonna do this, oh, I'm gonna do that. So it doesn't surprise me the idols in that company think the same way. I feel like instead of teaching your idols, try to make these big changes, try to be the next this, try to like make a mark, maybe have them wanna be good people or like encourage them to like wanna like something with music, something with being a fun entertainer, like not like about it feels like it's very centered around the goals rather than the journey. As like stupid as that sounds, I don't care if my group is big. Like a lot of groups I like are big, but a lot of them aren't. Like Victon, SF9, stuff like that. Like they're not huge groups. Pentagon, Oh My Girl, like Dreamcatcher. Like I like these groups. They're not big, they're not game changing, but to me, I love their music, and I feel like this isn't about her, this is about him. Like the company is very focused on the numbers, the statistics, the waves they make, the trends they set, not realizing, yes, you have those ups, but like when they hit those downs, what are you gonna do? Just abandon them? Just ignore them? I feel like it should be more about the music and the entertainment and the idols. And it's sad that it's so ingrained. Because even if you look at like early days BTS, it was the same thing. They did make it, so but like I feel like he's riding that high and wants to like put it on other groups and give them pressure to do that. And then it's gonna ultimately make them feel like failures if they don't. Well, I just did my nails too. My flower does not look cute. Definitely messed it up. Oh, she looks so pretty.
밥을 먹고 있는데요.
Is that Bingsu? Bingsu?
며칠을 거쳐서
I'm glad they're not using those like filters that make them look very blurry, like they do in their vlogs. Like I like seeing the texture of their skin. I know it's kind of weird, but
오늘
I do think they're like sharpening the video a lot though. It makes it look kind of weird.
3월 11일이에요. 근데 제가 3월 14일에
Hey,
자작곡 발매를 하는데
which one was this one?
목걸이 같은.
Yeah, I was looking at that, but I was like,
작곡은
same.
계속 꾸준히 하고 있고요.
Which one was that one?
좋아. 6시부터 본격적으로 시작했는데 지금 5시간이 지났어요. 결국 조금의 결과를 만들긴 했는데 No! 작업을 시작하자 이제! 정신 차리자!
그 윤진 씨는 어떨 때 가장
Imagine watching this and not knowing their faces yet and being like, who's this girl? Because they keep cutting to her with black hair and blonde hair.
저는 이제 녹음을 마치고 한번 들어보려고
I really don't smooth your makeup.
일단 여기 보이시나요? 이것이
The layering of the music.
작업한 거예요.
I was gonna say, it's just pretty idle. I love seeing this development of her songs.
Go idolize, go idolize, yeah, 이거 뭐야 아니라? Go idolize. 어차피 세상 반복일 텐데. 어차피.
It's crazy how many people were like hyping this song up and cheering it on and being like, oh, I don't even like Sserafim, but this song's great. Blah blah blah. And now it's like complete 180.
눈물이 번호 죄다 입힌 옷이라며 손가락질 내가 뱉은 말도 왜 언제뿐이면 이 말하겠니 알아서 챙겨 이미지 시작 전에도 이미지 게임 왜 이리 어려워
Cause if I had a choice I put my opinions first.
애써트지 잡아줘 여유롭게 하고 내 맘대로 하는 말 무시하면 my voice 내 목소리 volume up 모든 비를 돌아보게
Oh, was that a festival? I don't remember. I like her with like dark hair and bangs. I'm a very much a bangs girl, so those are like clip-on bangs though, right? So red hair is top here though. Is each episode centered around a member? The first one was Eunchae.
이래야 되고 저래야 되고 이런
Because I think there's 5 episodes.
않는 그런 룰들이 있잖아요. 네, 그런 게 데뷔 전에도 연습생 때도 느껴졌지만
You would think they would teach them these things.
그때는 데뷔하고 싶으니까 너무 간절하고
You're like, hey,
데뷔를 원하니까
it's not fair, but this is how it's gonna be. You have to be mentally ready for this.
데뷔하고 나니까 이게 너무 뭔가
I think JYP does it a little bit, but like
그냥 그런 답답한 감정을 조금 표현하고 싶었던 것 같아요.
tattoos remind me of Chaeyoung's tattoo from Twice. This is so cute. I'm glad they have like each other to like lean back on. Oh, she's crying.
내가 하고 싶은 얘기로 음악을 만들어서 듣는 사람이 좋은 영향을 받고 내가 하는 메시지로 인해서
It's just equally getting worse every year though.
세상이 조금이라도 나아졌다.
People did not pay any attention to the lyrics.
저한테는 그런 게 성공일 것 같아요.
I'm so sorry. The world failed you. It's not your fault.
아는 사람 있어요? 없어요?
Why are we?
한국에 아는 사람 없었으니까.
I'm never a fan of like jumping
할머니밖에 없어. 나
timelines.
옛날에 여기서 타로 뭔지 알아? 타로? 사주? 사주? 아, 네. 여기서 한번 봤었거든? 네. 여기 되게 그렇게 할 수 있는 게 되게 많아. 근데 말을 하셨어요? 한 4년 정도 뒤였는데 네. 그때 5년 뒤에 엄청 성공할 거라고 그러셨어요. 지금 왔어요.
I mean, success is such a vague term.
꼭 이뤄졌으면 좋겠다. 와. 와.
I'm so glad to see Kaza. I felt like she was barely in the first episode, and then she's barely shown up here. Her and Chaewon haven't like been really on camera.
미간이. 너 이제 연습생 한지 근데 몇 개월이지?
She hasn't been a trainee that long, yeah. Like, cause she didn't train very much before debut.
지금 뭐 딱히 힘든 건 없어? 막 연습생을 이제 막 오래 하진 않았으니까 막 아직
They were
좀 헤매는
babies.
부분이나.
일단 제가 지금 하는 게 그 제로 라인으로 시작하고 있으니까 언니들은 뭔가 준비가 너무 되고 있는 상태에서 지금부터 다 데뷔한다 그런 느낌이잖아요. 다 준비를 잘 하고 지금까지 기다리고 있던
무슨 말인지 알 것 같아.
이제 간다 그런 느낌이잖아요. 근데 저는 뭔가 기대도 많은데
막 불안한 그런 게 있지.
네, 그 준비를
또 그랬어.
나도
그랬어.
근데 그때는 어땠어요? 뭔가 준비를 제가 느꼈을 때도 할 수 있는 만큼은 하고 싶은데 그렇게까지 뭔가 조금 불안한 느낌도 있면서 활동을 하는
너무
I love you
뭔지
just.
알 것 같아.
It's just how much more fluent she is in Korean compared to here is so.
되게 중요한 것 같아. 너 근데 내가
Darn
봤을 때
see.
너 엄청 잘하고 있어. 진짜로. 진짜로.
이거 진짜 확 가야 된다 이거. 그렇지.
Opening Kaza's story.
그냥 쭉 일자로. 그렇지. 가볼게요. 5, 6,
Sorry, she's my bias. I'm naturally gonna get excited when she's on screen.
작년에 딱 이맘때쯤 네덜란드에서 발레 하고 있었는데 1년 맨 위에서 솔로 하고
해볼까요? 네.
Oh, this is. Oh. Did I miss like
엄청 잘하고 있어. 진짜로.
the time
진짜로.
jump?
이거 진짜 확 가야 된다.
See, I hate documentaries sometimes. I feel like they just jump around and don't tell you. Like I'm like, oh, this is pre-debut still. No, this is for her solo scene. Tell me that. Put the date here. Put the date here. Tell us, please. It's not that hard.
발레 하고 있었는데
It's so easy to just tell us.
맨 위에서 솔로 하고
해볼까요? 네.
I can only tell really because they said that, but also because of Chaewon's hair here.
멋있어서 소름 돋았어요. 진짜 그 정도로 나 소름이 돋았어. 나 진짜 현장에서 너가 하는 걸 상상하면서 봤는데 나 진짜 미쳤겠잖아. 미쳤어.
진짜 잘해.
멋있어. 너무나지. 너무 멋있어.
저희 찍어봐도 괜찮을까요 지금? 네.
That couch is so cool. Like, low-key, I would have a couch like that. Where's I put all these backup dancers? Like, let's go. Dang, that synchronization. Joy, superhero. Dun, 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 dun.
했는데? 아우! 와!
잘 부탁드립니다.
은채한테 은채야 잘 있지 이런 것도 아니고 이름만
맞아.
부르고 은채 네.
행복하게 살고 있는데 만족하지는 않은 것 같아요. 계속 뭔가가 부족하고 뭔가 계속 더 욕심이 나는 거.
욕심이 나.
이거 지아 손이 너무 달라. 이거 뒤를 보낼 때도 약간 너무 혼자 달라.
이게 뭐지? 이렇게 앞으로 갔다가 이렇게 벌려져야 되는 뭔가 지아는 이대로
Like a cheerleader.
벌려졌거든? 이게 앞으로 봤을 때 앞으로 갔다가 Y자를 만들고 앞으로 갔다가 이렇게 만들어야 되는데 뭔가 지아는 그냥 이대로 팔락팔락
저 숨치는 거 벌써 있어.
뭔가 앞으로 모여갔다가 가야 돼.
그냥 학교 다닐 때나 발레만 했었을 때는 하나에 집중을 하잖아.
But like being a performer, like you have to do like 3 different things. Like in K-pop.
그 생각만 하는데 이거는 그 힘이 분산하는 느낌? 이것도 해야 되고 이것도 해야 되고 이것도 해야 되고 그리고 다 잘해야 돼 이런 거라서 진짜 I'm fearless, a new bitch, new crazy, all I got next one.
방금 되게 잘했다.
I was hoping you would see vocal
부르면서
from her.
잘 된다 이렇게.
근데 그렇게
Because I love her voice. When they utilize in certain parts. Like a lot of her lines are iconic to me.
방금?
네.
아니 되게 밸런스가 좋았어.
네. 그 밸런스가 어려워요.
그 밸런스를 지키기가
네.
뭔가 악센트도 있는데
네.
너무 위로 뜨지 않는
네.
느낌이 나는 게
네.
어렵지.
여기 발음은 려랑 저랑 있던랑
던.
그 발음을 지금 괜찮았었어.
발음 다 괜찮은데? 두려움에 감춰 있던 여기가
다 두려움에 감춰 있던
그렇게.
내일이 추워.
추워. 근데 빨리.
추워. 네.
그 다음에 그때 얘기했던 막 탁탁탁 끊어서 하는 거 이런 거를 조금만 더 집어넣어도 될 것 같아.
네.
너무 발레 요소가 지금 많긴 많거든.
네.
그러니까 좋은데 다른 것도 도전해 볼 만하니까 그걸 조금 더 플러스 시키면 훨씬 더 좋을 것 같아.
네.
굿. 어색.
Oh. Cute.
진짜 어려운 것 같아요. 갑자기 자신감이 확 뭔가 올라오고 나는 더 열심히 해야겠어. 할 수 있겠다. 이런 약간 긍정적인 마음이 일 때도 있고 그랬다가 갑자기 엄청 떨어지고 진짜 나는 이대로는 진짜 안 되겠다. 아무것도 못해. 그러니까 나는 뭐라 그래 아무 매력도 없고
춤을 베이직을 막 너무 안 한 상태에서, 그러니까 하긴 했지만 너무 적은 기간 동안 트레이닝을 하고 뭔가 르세라핌을 데뷔를 해서 그때 못 채웠던 약간 어떤 베이직적인 부분이나 좀 춤을 좀 더 잘 추기 위해서 할 수 있는 그런 부분들을 해야 되니까 그게
See, that's crazy to me because I love Kaza, she's my bias. I love she's here. But I'm also like, why debut people when they're not ready? Like, clearly she's doing fine. But, you know, like, it's like you debut them, but then they have to put twice the work to catch up with everyone else who's had way more years. And I feel like that's, like, very unfair. It's like, you don't have to debut them. I mean, I guess I love she's here. But it's like, she has no experience in singing. And she doesn't know the basics of dancing, like this type of dancing. And it's like, having this conversation afterwards is crazy. I mean, they probably did beforehand. I want to know, like, I wish we could actually see the sit-down conversation in the office. Like, we want you to debut. And then she's like, oh, but I only trained this long. And it's like, that's fine, we'll help you with this and this to prepare you to debut. Or something. Like, I kind of want to see how the conversation goes with, like, idols who have only trained a few months. And I notice a lot of times the idols who debut quickly, but only, like, trained less than a year, are usually dancers. And I feel like they think it's okay because they've had dancing experience, so it's probably easier to... They think it's easier to, like, learn singing and stuff. And then you can kind of hide that more because they are good dancers. Because, like, the only time I've seen an idol debut very quickly that wasn't good at dancing was, like, Eunchae from GOT7. Because he was such a good singer. So I guess that they were, like... So, like, that's cool. But, like, that was very hard on him because he has no, like, dancing experience. But, like, Jimin from BTS, Lino from Stray Kids, Felix from Stray Kids, Kaza, like, these people all had, like, less than a year and debuted. And then kind of got, like, besides maybe Felix, a lot of them were, like, struggling a lot in terms of that because Felix is at least a rapper. He was never going to be a singer anyways. But, like, Kaza, Lino... Jimin, like, these people struggle a lot with their singing. To be fair, Kaza doesn't get, like, as much flack about her singing, and I think it's because they make her parts... She's usually, like, doing, like, this really cool talk thing, which is why I think she has so... This is not rapping, it's not singing. I don't know what it is, but, like...
춤을 좀 더 잘 추기 위해서 할 수 있는 그런 부분들을 해야 되니까
I guess it's kind of rapping.
내가 움직이는 어떤 그런 모습들이 어색해 보일 때가 있잖아. 지아가 지금 막 춤을 내가 잘 못 추는 것 같아라고 느낄 수 있잖아. 그러니까 그런 부분 좀 깨야 돼. 그냥 최대한 자연스럽게. 발에만 집중.
But I think at least she knows the work ethic. So that helps. I do wonder if you have to, like, unlearn certain things. Like I said about, like, facial expressions and ballet versus hip-hop.
뭔가 무대에서도 발레를 많이 보여주려고 하는데 그걸 평생 가지고 갈 수는 없으니까 뭔가 그런 생각을 했었는데 사람들도 뭐 이제 그만해서 그렇게 생각하는 사람도 있으니까 약간 그거는 자기도 생각을 했었던 부분이라서 조금 신경 쓰는 부분이에요. 나한테 발레는 너무 큰
I mean, she's been doing it her whole life.
이것 때문에 지금부터 더 열심히 해야겠다라고.
To kind of put her focus on K-pop. Now she's, like, smiling and stuff. She's, like, expressing more. Like, ballet's very, like, disciplined, right? Like, I don't like talking too much about ballet because I don't know, and I don't know it a lot, but, like, I feel like it's probably very hard going from one to another. They're very different. I don't know how to word this without just it coming off weird. Like, what's the point of the documentary? I really want to know that. Like, what's the point? As always, I went on way too long of a rant. Let me summarize it. I don't hate this documentary, but I personally view documentaries, especially with K-pop idols, as it needs some type of linear story going into it. For example, Burn the Stage by BTS. The linear storyline was them getting to the billboards. They had a story for each episode, whether it was Jungkook fainting or V and Jin's fight. They had some little vloggy parts in between, but overall there was a story to it. This episode felt aimless. It felt like a glorified vlog with some sad music in the background. And it felt a bit repetitive and redundant, which is not the girl's fault at all. I think there's not a lot of direction going on here, and I'm not sure where the end result is supposed to be. There's also 17's On the Road documentary, which was about them on tour and a lot of the issues they faced with Songchul going on hiatus because of anxiety, Jonghan getting injured, a lot of them getting sick. There was a purpose to the documentary. There was the story of them on tour. Same with NCT's Lost Boys. It's very good. I feel like this documentary doesn't have me learning anything about the girls that I don't already know because it's a bit repetitive. Everything here is just what we already know or what idols in general go through. And I felt like I would like to get more personal with them. And if they don't want to be personal, that's totally fine. But then why does this documentary exist? If someone can answer, like, what's the purpose of the documentary? If it's just supposed to show the behind the scenes of being an idol, I feel like this is just not doing that because it's not showing me I don't already know. Even though I do consume so much K-pop, even the average K-pop person knows this stuff. So it feels a bit like a blank slate of just every K-pop idol can relate to this. And it doesn't tell me anything specifically about Sserafim. This should just be like a K-pop documentary, I guess. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel because I've also been watching, I don't like a lot of the newer BTS documentaries ever since that because it felt like they were just riding off that hype and it got like redundant and repetitive and boring, similar to this. But even TXT's documentary, the end goal was Lollapalooza. There was an end result. Even though a lot of it was also their tour, it was leading up to Lollapalooza. And then NCT's Lost Boys, which I'm reacting to on Patreon, the focus is getting to know the guys deeper. And I actually learned so many new things even after being a fan of them for 6 years that I never knew about them. And yet this video felt like I've just been told stuff that I was already told in the previous documentary. This should just be maybe behind the scenes vlogs rather than a documentary, personally. Like, even the idol part with the behind the scenes of her making the song should have just been its own video. It just feels like beauty shots of them being sad with them answering and saying they're tired and insecure and going through things, but they're not like very specific about it. And it just feels like the same sentence every idol says. And I don't know if they're being fed that or if they're just asked very basic questions, but it's just kind of eh.
Wise men say it's really cool to be old